Hello, friends. I'm Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? I hope things are going good for you. Today was work from home day, and I actually feel pretty darn accomplished. And I feel like that's a very normal thing for me on work from home days. Is I feel like, wow, I really was able to kind of do what I needed to do today, and I try to set up a game plan for my Wednesdays. Um, my other work days lately have been just meeting, and I don't get anything done because we have meetings. Like Mondays, I have 3 meetings now on Mondays. Well, that's 3 hours of my workday gone, and it's worse than that because, when you're in a creative field like this, and I go to work at 7, and I'm head down just getting work done, and by 9 o'clock, I'm really in kind of like okay, I've figured out all the difficult stuff. Now I just got to write the code, and I'm doing the work, and then an hour later, like, bam, stop, got to go to a meeting, and then I go to the meeting, and then to go back, it takes me, I had that 2 hour ramp up to get the code done for pre-meeting. Now I have to do that again, but then I have another meeting an hour later, and so I only have an hour in between, and I can't, it's just impossible. It's so difficult. So I feel like Wednesdays are my days, but I also got to do a lot of work here. This evening, cleaned out that end of the garage to a good degree. I'll show you footage. Maybe this weekend I'll do like another little like shop update thing. I think Friday I'll have some stuff show up to talk about. If you remember, our good friend Len sent me $100 to put towards shop organization, and he said he wanted to see some kind of raw shop organization, what I would do with that money. And I've purchased some stuff that I kind of had to sit down here and prioritize. There's big organization as far as like I have a lot of stuff on top of benches that doesn't have a home. Drills and hand tools and that sort of stuff, which could be easily fixed with just some simple shelves and maybe some cabinet doors. But then I have the bigger problem is I have a whole mess of, do people say that, a whole mess of? Anyway, I have boxes upon boxes upon boxes of screws. I have nut and bolt kits that I usually buy at Harbor Freight. I have all sorts of these things, like this is laptop screws and terminal connectors and these little kits like that of all sorts of hardware. I have hardware for cutting boards, I have wood screws, I have machine screws, nuts and bolts, all that stuff that I'm always having to dig through. Can you still see these? No, there's boxes up here. I have one for glue, miscellaneous garbage, sanding, electrical, rope and stuff. So I'm always digging through there because there's all these little things. So I've needed a way to basically have my own little hardware store that I can consult and that's labeled like this is nuts and bolts, and you pull it out and there it is. So that's what I ordered. That'll be here on Friday. And what I plan on doing with that is building some sort of like vertical storage for those cabinets, and that vertical storage will be what holds this belt sander and possibly this one if I can fit it both on there and make it on casters so I can spin it and use both belt sanders. That will get rid of this shelf thing that's really just taking up space. It needs to go away. And hopefully there's enough wood in here that I can turn what's in there into shelves underneath of this bench. Just kind of scab some shelves together for now. So I got a lot done. I swept up, cleaned, got all the garbage out that needs to go. I've been like slowly going through my house and pulling out all of the stuff that isn't needed, isn't necessary. I've collected all of Jamie's stuff, my ex's stuff in an area, so I'm not getting rid of her things, but just the other just stuff that you collect, and it just needs to go away. And I've been slowly kind of bringing it out to take out to the trash, but a lot of it has piled up here and it's just never been taken out. So I got all of that out, and I'm getting ready for actual shop work because we're going to have that soon. These things are getting close to being finished. I had to come downstairs today and put another coat of primer on them. I hit them with primer the other day, really stupid thick primer. So I'm satisfied with it on the side grain here and on the face, but on the backs they had big nodules that I had to sand and reprimed. So these have been reprimed today, which means they are now ready to be finished sanded and then painted. So I initially was going to talk to you about this project, not necessarily this project, but projects like this in general. When Scott initially pitched this idea to me, he said, I need some figures made. They can be anywhere from an inch tall to however tall you need to make them easier for you to work with. I picked this size kind of arbitrarily, but also based on the material that I had on hand. And I told him a price, and he was like, no, that's not even close to enough. I'll give you double that. Plus, I had asked for some of his books. He said, I'll give you double that price, plus the books. And I said, okay. And, you know, it turns out that even at double the price, if I was trying to manufacture these for sale, I would be losing all kinds of money. Because even at double the initial price I threw out, the amount of hours that I have to sit here with little sanding sticks and just, because he wants them smooth, he wants them not shiny, but he doesn't want them to look like wood grain and stuff. The amount of time it takes to do that is a bit ridiculous. And so I was going to talk a little bit about that, but we got sidetracked. The good news is that I'm spending time down here again. I feel like that's kind of a thing. I usually think that the wintertime is going to be my time to spend down here. Like, I got nothing better to do, so I'll just spend time in the garage. But it's always so cold, and I can't really get the motorcycle and all the yard tools and stuff out of my way because I need that floor space for putting stuff together. I can't get all the stuff out of here, and stuff piles up here like coats and hats and gloves and all that stuff, and it just becomes a place that I don't enjoy spending time in until the spring. And then spring comes around and it's time to kind of mass clean and get back to using the shop. So we're getting really close to that, even though it's not even March yet. But I had the bike out today, so in my mind it's spring. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking and commenting, subscribing, and being really wonderful people, wonderful friends. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Wikipedia. What European countries drive on the left side of the road? Today, road traffic in the following 7 European jurisdictions drive on the left: United Kingdom, Ireland, Isle of Man, Guernsey, Jersey, Malta, and Cyprus. None shares a land border with a country that drives on the right, and all were once part of the British Empire.